Hi everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Curated chat today. Why walking is equal to wellness. Today I have someone who walks for a living and he enhances other people's life experience on earth by helping them walk. I'm delighted to welcome Toby Clarke to Wellness Curated. Toby is to walking what David Attenborough is to nature. And walking is such a tremendous form, not just of exercise, but it's a form of healing. You know, it works in your brain, it works in your senses, it's meditative, it works at all levels. And research has shown that it helps you with an incredible amount of things. Toby, welcome to
Hello.
Wellness Curated.
Hi, thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Thank you for joining us on this chat.
A
Um,
pleasure.
so I will start with our first question. What is wellness to you?
Wow, I love that question. And wellness to me is got to come from every part of our body and our mind and our soul. I think when people say wellness is just one part of it, I don't agree. So it's getting up, jumping out of bed, which I don't always jump out of bed, but that's my intention. And for my mind to feel good and happy to be alive and awake that day. And then also for my whole body just to feel good as well. You know, those first steps out of bed when you're a bit stiff in the mornings is feeling good. And then following on from that, you know, going through the whole day feeling alive and well. And in happiness as well, I think it goes hand in hand. If you're not feeling happiness, then you don't feel wellness. So for me, it's a combination of everything that all of our senses need to be. And also eating happy food and going through the whole day in a beautiful way.
Lovely. Now, Toby, you had told me this absolutely mind-blowing story about how you got into walking. So I'd love you to share that on the chat.
Sure. So I'm one of the blessed ones. I was lucky enough to be born on this magical island of Ibiza some years ago now, born to hippie parents. And I was taken off the island when I was 10 years old and went to England. But I always really longed to come back. And then when I was sort of getting older, I kept coming back here on a holiday, but I thought I need to come back on a more permanent basis.
Right.
So got a beautiful wife in England, and we both decided to have a massive change in our life. So we decided to give up the corporate life. My wife and I were in the corporate life, used to wear a shirt and a tie every day, believe it or not. And we gave everything up. We went traveling around the world for a year and then came to Ibiza. And at that moment, we didn't know what we were going to do here. We had an amazing experience traveling, and I was really still a bit lost in my purpose in life. I'd had jobs before, but they weren't really what I wanted to do. And I came up with this brainwave, it came to me. I remember the exact moment it came to me, and I had this sort of shiver through my body. And the idea that came and the thought that came after that was that I should try and walk around the entire coastline of Ibiza. And for people maybe who don't know Ibiza, it's not a huge island. The coastline is about 200 kilometers. And I literally set off a week later, and the night before I left, I was having this moment of what do I need to take with me? You know, I've got a backpack. I'd never really walked that distance before in my life at all. Mm-hmm. And I decided to take my backpack, a very simple tent. I did get some hiking sandals, but I was still wearing jeans and things. It was really my initial bang into doing this sort of adventure. And the night before I was getting ready, I decided to look through what I needed to take. So the credit cards for food, to buy stuff, wallets, phones, and everything else. But something made me open up a drawer and throw everything in that drawer. My wallet, my credit cards, or my money. I thought I need to do this with something else to make it more of an adventure for me. And as I closed the drawer, this little noise happened inside. If you know when a coin goes and then drops, and I opened up the drawer and there was a €1 coin there. So I thought, wow, I'm supposed to walk around the whole island and try and survive with €1.
That's incredible. That is such a lovely story and so inspiring, I would say. But tell me, Toby, so, you know, we're at this point now where all over the world, people are saying walking is the best exercise, you know, very, very sort of people are doing a lot of research and then coming back and recommending that you need to walk. Um, why do you think walking gives you wellness, health and wellness?
Why is walking so good for us? It gets us back into nature. We all spend too long looking at screens, computers, and not being out in nature enough. And our brains need to be out in the wild and looking at trees and hearing the birds and the bees and everything else. And I think it's just beautiful for our soul, at a soul level. It really helps us connect back with who we are. And there's been so many studies that that it's great for thinking and calming the mind down. It's great for depression, great for all sorts of problems that are really rife on our planet at the moment. And the simplest cure is go out, start out just with a 20-minute walk. I think we can all squeeze this into our day and just go out for 20 minutes. And then if you get the bug, you might do 30 minutes. And then you never know, you might do a 12-day walk around the island.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Wow. My dog would be in heaven if I took him for a 12-day walk. But tell me something. Is there a correct way of walking?
Is there a correct way of walking? We all do it when we're about 1 year old and we start walking. And then what everyone does is they put shoes on these very young babies, or very young children. And really, as very young children, the best thing for babies or kids to wear is nothing on their feet, because it keeps the feet working the way they should if you put shoes on. And we do put shoes on babies because they look very cute and very cool as well. But we really need to walk. For me, I've gone through every sort of shoe in the world, from a €300 pair of hiking boots. And now for me, the ones that work the best are the thinnest sole ones, where you're really connecting with the movement and the feeling of your feet wrapping around the stones and the rocks and the pebbles and everything else. So a correct way of walking, when you're just doing a little walk, don't worry about it. Just go out and do a 20-minute walk, and don't worry about your breathing. Don't worry about what you're supposed to be doing. Just walk. If you're going to go and do the Camino de Santiago or the beautiful routes around Ibiza for, a good 8-hour day or multiple day activities, then yes, it's worthwhile thinking a bit about how you're walking. And you should walk swinging your arms, because your arms keep your spine in the right posture as you're walking. And try and get a pair of shoes that it's got to be something that's good for the person. And everyone has preferences, whether they wear huge boots or, like me, the thinnest possible little pair of sandals. So it's got to be what you're happy with, but just get out and do it, and you'll find the way. But swing your arms. If you're doing long walks, walking poles are really good, because they keep your posture high, up in a straight position. You can tend to go a bit over if you're walking long periods of time. So, but just get out there and do it. We've all been walking since millions, 100,000 of years. So get out and do it, and then you'll feel amazing.
So you're saying be comfortable. So wear footwear that's comfortable, swing your arms, and if need be, take poles, walking poles.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Especially if you're doing slightly uneven walks. If you're getting a bit more advanced and you think, I want to challenge myself by going up a hill that I've seen in my neighborhood, or join a group, go and do that. But maybe take a pair of walking poles to help you, stopping you from sliding down a little bit. And a great top tip that I give on many of my walks is, when you're going downhill on slippery slopes, keep your nose over your toes.
Oh.
Everyone that comes on my walks will know that one. And basically, we slide because our weight is too far back.
Right.
So that's when we slide. But if you move your weight and make sure your nose is always over your toes, you don't slide as much, because then your weight is more on the balls of your feet, and that stops you from sliding if you're going downhill on slippery, slopey, stony, little gravelly downhill slopes. And just try it even on a pavement. Next time you're walking down a pavement that's slightly downhill, just move your weight and put your nose slightly forward, and you'll feel that the posture is actually more comfortable for walking downhill.
That's interesting, because instinctively when you're going downhill, we all move backwards. But you're saying do the opposite. That's very interesting. Never heard that before.
There you go.
Thank you. And tell me, how many steps do you recommend are the right amount of steps? Is it with this 10,000 steps that everyone is talking about per day?
Yeah, The 10,000 steps came about, and I've researched it, and the guy actually had no idea what to come up with. He just came up with this fictitious figure of 10,000 steps. It's become this thing that everyone strives to do every day, or they have their Fitbit or whatever they're doing their measuring on. And I think it's fantastic. At the beginning, I was a bit like, don't be so stupid. Why do you need to have a figure? Just go out and walk. But what it is doing is it's making people look at their watch or whatever halfway through the day, and if they haven't done the 10,000 steps, they make the effort to do it, which I think is fantastic. I think that's a great motivational thing to go. For me, if I'm not doing any particular long walks with clients or going out for a longer exploration myself, I try and do about between 3 and 5 kilometers every day. And if you need another inspiration, get a dog, as you know. When you're sat at your computer too long, Cosmo comes up and goes, hey, come on, it's time to go out.
Yes.
But again, I just think go out, and even if you're just going to walk for 5 minutes, just go out and do it. Just get that first initial step going. That's the most important thing.
And any other kit you would recommend, maybe for people doing slightly longer walks?
Sure. When you're starting to do longer walks, you want to be able to take some things with you, like a snack, a banana, an apple, some nuts or something like that. And of course, water is super important, even if it's cold. We're now in the winter in our part of the world. Still, you can get these great backpacks, little backpack with a bladder, so you have a pouch of water in the back with a tube that comes round, and then you could just sip on the water as you need to, and you're not always stopping to get your water bottle out and have a drink. So for me, that's really an essential bit of kit. When you're doing longer walks, over 5 to 7, 8, 10K, then you need to have a water supply and get a good backpack if you're going to do longer walks as well, to feel comfortable. Your kit should feel comfortable. And really, this time of year, it's all about layers. So here in Ibiza, and now it's actually quite a cold day here, but we normally have like 10 degrees when we start walking in the winter, and by lunchtime it can be 20, and then it's back down to 10 again. So it's all about multiple layers. So we start out with a body warmer and a jumper and other thing, and then they all come off again, and then you put them all back on again.
Lovely. And anything you would say that don't ever do this when you're walking? Any no-nos?
Don't go out your comfort zone, I'd say, especially if you're going out for an exploration walk by yourself. Stay within your comfort zones. Don't go off marked paths, I'd say, unless you really know the area. Every year, a lot of people die, even on this tiny little island of Ibiza. I think this year we've lost 4 people who have been out walking and slipped off an edge or fallen down a shaft or something like that. And it does happen because there's a lot of people out there walking. And always a really great thing to do is to, if you're going on a longer walk, share your location with phones these days. You can easily share your live location with a friend or family member and just say, yeah, I'm just going out for a walk. And they can see where you are. If you're not back at dark, at least they can say, okay, oh, he came back and forgot to switch it off. Or why is he still out there and where is he? So tell people where you're going if you're going a bit further afield. But I come back to the thing, enjoy it.
But that's very good advice. Make sure someone knows where you are if you're going further afield. So yeah,
sure.
Thank you for that. But tell me, Toby, in all your 10 years of walking, have you had any life-changing stories, something that, you know that the walk has changed them forever?
Yeah, it seems like, how can a walk change someone's life? But I've had multiple experiences of the simple act of walking changing someone's life. And one that really comes to mind is every year, after my €1 walk, every year I do a 12-day walk around the island. And I've been doing it for now over 10 years. And someone suggested some years ago, why don't I try and help people that maybe couldn't afford it, because it's not the cheapest trip, because it's 12 days, fully supported and everything. So they said, why don't I give one place away for free? And that's this lovely girl called Jo Yule. I've got to give her a quick shout out because it was her idea that inspired me. And she said, it's nice to give one place away for free. So I thought about it. I thought, wow, that's a lot of money to give away for free. But I sort of felt into myself. And so I said, okay, let's do it. So we've sent out, if you know someone who maybe needs a free place or would benefit from it. And anyway, we got down the short list and we eventually gave this place away. And it was this amazing girl who we gave the place away to from Dublin. And she had been the victim of a hit and run accident when she was, I think, something like 13 or 14 years old. A car hit her, pinned her against a wall. She fell over the back of the wall, and the guy just drove off and left her for dead. So it was like, oh my God. And she remembered when she was younger that her mum said, if you ever need some help, don't shout help because no one comes. So shout fire. So she started shouting fire and she realized she was there. So she started shouting fire, and then someone heard her and came and rescued her and got the ambulance and everything. But she basically then spent the next 4 years in and out of hospitals, and the hospitals all said she wouldn't walk again. So she lost all of her teenage life. And then through pure determination, she's a really determined, amazing girl. And through determination, she did manage to start walking again. She's got scars all on her legs and pins everywhere, but she started to walk again. And she started to find the enjoyment of walking in the hills behind Dublin. And she started to do little walks, just as I said, one step at a time. You know, we've got, most of us listening have got amazingly good bodies, but she really had to break through crazy pain and mind as well to get out walking again. And we gave her this place, and when we gave her the place, I was like, I'm not sure this is the right person we've given it to, because how is she going to do a 12-day walk around the island? I remember it was on a podcast, and she said, it's my goal to, if I can walk around the island in 12 days, I know that's me done, and I can get on with the rest of my life. So we met a beautiful soul, and she, at the end of the day, she completed the 12 days, but only because of the group that helped her do that. And she was a soul. We were amongst this group of people, all different walks of life, rich people, poor people. And we actually had to carry her through some of the days because she just couldn't carry on walking. Her legs had it. She got bad blisters and everything. And when she actually eventually walked over that finish line, everyone was in tears. It was just amazing to see this girl complete something through such hardship. And it made us feel how humble we were, thinking, oh, we're having a hard day, but wow, what this girl had been through. And it changed her life. After that, she went on. She's got a fantastic job now. She's brilliant. And she actually messaged me only about 3 or 4 weeks ago to say she wants to come back and do the same trip again next year. Oh, so for me, that is just incredible. So that's one that really touches me.
Beautiful, beautiful story. I love that story. And that's how you change people's lives, by walking. And I'm sure you enhance a lot of people's lives every day.
I give them the space to come and do these things. At the end of the day, that space enables them to change themselves. I'm a modality on the way to doing it. I think everyone changes their own lives in their own way, and there's amazing people around the world that just open up that space to enable it to happen. And
tell me, do you do sort of meditative walks? Or walking meditation? Have you ever done that with people?
Yeah, we do mindful walks, we call them, which is another name for sort of meditation, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing to do in nature and really slow down. And I always find it very interesting bringing people on the walks that are, say, living in a very high-powered, fast-paced job in the city, banking or lawyers or something. And sometimes you cannot get them to slow down on a walk. You know, they're just wanting to get from A to B. They're not interested in anything along the way. It's just their goal to do as many kilometers as they can in that day, tick it off the box, and then move on with the next day. And if you ask them in a year, what do they see on the walk? They wouldn't think of anything. So I quite often like to get these people that are on a walk and very much not ready for stopping at all. I'll get them to stop. And if I can really convince them, if I connect with them, take their shoes and socks off, and then walk along a bit of a path that's safe to walk on, and just feel the soles of their feet on the ground, which they may not have done since they were kids. You know, people hardly take their shoes off and walk in the earth these days. And then to get them to stop at a beautiful flower or a tree or something and look at it in great detail, you know, all the little veins and everything on the leaf and everything else. And then they really then go, oh, actually, maybe I'm rushing through my life too quick or something. It just can trigger something. Not with everyone, but for that, I think to get someone to slow down and do like a meditation or just walk in silence even for 5 minutes. Some people find that so hard to go out into nature with a group of people. And if I say we're going to walk in silence for 5 minutes, some people cannot do it. They have to just do a sneaky little or talk to someone next to them. They can't do it. So, and that's the world we're living in. I think that people find it very difficult to be in silence. And silence is also becoming less and less. You know, where can you go in the world now when there's really no human noise anywhere? So I think to get out and just be in pure silence is also very beautiful.
So Toby, you would recommend that people find a space where they can take off their shoes and just slow down, go in silence, notice the nature near them, maybe examine a tree or a leaf. Sort of that's what you would recommend people try and do if they want to do a meditative, mindful walk.
Absolutely, and it sounds very. I live on Ibiza, and it's very hippie and hippy dippy. And some people are going, "Oh my God, here goes Toby again. Go and look at a leaf and be silent and take your shoes and socks off." But once people try it, they get it, and it's lovely. It's just such a lovely thing to do. We don't stop in our lives enough, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know, I'm rushing around a lot, and yes, I'm in nature beautifully a lot, but I also sometimes I'm rushing too much, and just to stop for a little bit and go, I'm just going to look at this leaf and how it is and how it's made, or look at the bark of a tree, or give a tree a hug. Why not?
Yeah, no, that's magnificent. Tell us, Toby, do you have any advice for the people listening in on this chat?
Advice, I think the simplest thing is just get out and walk. There's some great, wherever you are in the world, there's generally walking groups. I started up walking Ibiza with a very simple idea. There's also some people that have asked for my help to set up walking groups in their local area. And if someone feels inspired to set up their own walking group, then get in contact with me and I can give some help. And I know in England there's the Ramblers, which is a huge association of walking groups. You can join different levels. On Ibiza, there's myself and others as well now doing guided walking and getting out there. So either just go out and jump out there, do a 5, 10, 20-minute walk yourself and stop procrastinating and go and do it, get out in nature and enjoy life, you know, walking. And the other thing is leave your phone at home. If you're going to go and do a little 5 or 20-minute walk, don't take your phone. You can survive without it for that long. Go without it, and you'll be also, you might wonder what you're going to do because you look in your pocket to look at your messages and it's not there. And that's a moment where you go, actually, I'm going to open my eyes and look at the countryside, or pick a leaf and look at a leaf. So just get out there and try it and do it.
And Toby, any advice for off balance and dizziness when walking?
Depends why it's coming about, but normally if you're feeling a bit off, it's maybe because you haven't drank enough water, or you're not breathing enough. So breathing is a super important part. Obviously, without breath, we pass away. So you maybe not breathe enough. So try and take some slightly deeper breaths. But if you're feeling dizzy or slightly off balance while you're walking, I'd say just stop and pause for a little bit, lean against a tree or sit down if you're feeling really dizzy, and just let it come back. And it might be that you're getting suddenly you haven't had so much oxygen in your body as well. Because if you're walking, your breathing is getting more and you're breathing more, your body might be going, oh my God, what is all this beautiful oxygen I'm getting in my body? So that could also make you feel a little bit dizzy as well.
It's also sometimes, isn't it low blood pressure sometimes, which makes people dizzy as well?
It could be. Yeah, it could be that as well. Just if you do feel a bit off balance, take it easy and seek someone's help if you need to.
Thank you so much, Toby. That was a delightful chat. And I'm sure we'll help a lot of people with that chat. So thank you.
I hope so.
Thank you for your time. And thank you everyone for joining us. That's Anshu Bahanda at Wellness Curated, talking to Toby Clarke from Walking Ibiza.